Now here is the bad news for when the United States and China go to war in 2027 or 2028. And the bad news is that even if China does not drop a bomb on your city, you will still likely feel pretty severe effects. Well folks, I am upping my prepping. I am putting my prepping into high gear because I am prepping for a very near future war with China, who obviously has nukes, nuclear bombs, just like we do. And I got to be very careful how I word this video because I don't want this video to be one of those fear-mongering videos just for clicks. Now, the reason why I am upping my prepping for a very high likelihood of a war with China is I have seen a military analyst. Now, his name is Ryan Macbeth, I believe, but he and others believe that the United States will be at war with China in 2028 or even possibly 2027. So that is, right now it is 2026. So we're looking at 1, maybe 2 years away that the United States will be at war with China. Now, a little bit about this Ryan Macbeth guy that has said this, and of course there's others too, but I'm going to really kind of reference Ryan Macbeth in this video. A little bit about him that makes what he says, credible anyways, is that this guy did 20 years in the military and he is an intelligence analyst, and he also has a very good grip on all things military and military strategy. Also about him is he doesn't seem to be conservative, nor does he seem to be liberal. He seems really to be kind of apolitical. What he seems to be really hyper focused on is the security of the USA. So when I watch his videos, I'm not getting a sense that he has a conservative slant about it, which I'm conservative, but there doesn't seem to be a political slant behind the videos that he makes. Now, what Ryan Macbeth is really believing is that, again, that the United States will be at war with China in either April or October of 2027, which is just a little bit over a year from now, or even more than likely October of 2028. And here is why he is so adamant that this is going to happen. Number one, everybody knows that China believes that Taiwan is actually part of China and that China is eventually going to take it back. Number two, China's president, Xi Jinping, if I get his name wrong, please don't kill me. But anyways, the Chinese president has stated that it is the responsibility of this generation's Chinese leadership to take Taiwan back and not kick that can down the road for the next generation of Chinese leadership. And the current Chinese president doesn't have a whole lot longer that he's going to be in power because of, he is getting older now. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be out of power in the next 2 years or anything like that. It's just that he is getting older. That time is coming, and he's not going to, it really sounds like he's not going to put this on the next president. Third, the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, has ordered the Chinese military to be ready to invade and be able to take Taiwan by 2027. Again, that is just about a year from now that the Chinese military will be in a position to where they can actually do the invasion and take the island back. And just for clarification, just because he said to be ready by 2027 does not 100% mean that the invasion will happen in 2027. It's just saying, again, that to be ready by 2027 to be able to take that island back. And the fourth reason that it's believed that China will invade Taiwan and the United States will be at war with China when that happens, but the fourth reason that that's believed that's going to happen in 2027 or 2028 is that it's around 2030 that I think that that's going to have that China's going to have that start having or really feeling the effects of that tipping point to where China is going to have more elderly people than they are going to be having younger people. So it sounds like to me that come 2030, their military is just going to be gradually growing weaker. So to me, it sounds like that if China's going to take any big military action, they want to do it by 2030, because at 2030, they're going to be just getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So when you want to do a big fight like that is when you're at your strongest. And 2030 is that point. So 2027 and 2028 is getting awfully close to that point. So anyways, when you add all of those up together, again, there's a very high likelihood, not a certainty, but a very high likelihood that in 2027 or 2028, that China is going to invade Taiwan. And then when that happens, then there's a very high likelihood that the United States will be at war with China, hence why I am upping my prepping and putting it into overdrive. Now you may be wondering, well, why April or October of either one of those 2 years? What's so special about the months of April and October? And the simple answer to that is just simply weather. It's during those months that you have calmer weather and calmer seas, oceans, around Taiwan and China in that area that, you know, would allow China to land ships full of invading military men or fly airplanes. I mean, simply put, if you've got really stormy, choppy seas, it makes it harder to get those boats to Taiwan to land those invading armies. Or if you have typhoons going, it's hard to fly fighter jets through a typhoon. So that is why they believe that more than likely, whether it happens in 2027 or 2028, that would happen in either April or October of those years. Now, they're also very highly speculating that if China was smart, they would actually do the invasion in October of 2028, because we will be going through a presidential election, gearing up towards a presidential election at that time. And so we might be more, if they invade Taiwan when we are gearing up towards a presidential election, the sitting president at that time, Trump, they might be gambling on him being more worried about doing something with him getting ready to leave office. Or also too, they could gamble that we would be more busy with stuff, concentrating on our problems at home because of the presidential election and not paying as much attention to something that's going on overseas. Now, before we move on to the next point, I want to know what you think. Comment down below. Do you think that China will invade Taiwan in 2027 or 2028? And then if so, do you think that the United States would actually go to war with China if they do the invasion? Again, comment down below. Now, here is the good news about this whole China and the United States possibly being at war at 2027 or 2028. If the United States and China does go to war, most experts and analysts believe that the likelihood of it actually going nuclear is very, very, very low. Now, obviously, if the two countries do go to war, it raises the chances of a nuclear conflict up, some or quite a bit, but they still think that the chances of that are very, very low. And the reason is because most analysts believe that if China does attack Taiwan and then we do get into war with China, that war will likely mostly stay in the Asia-Pacific area, and that China nor the United States will actually start bombing the cities in each other's countries. It would be more than likely it will keep in that area where the two countries are just shooting each other's ships and airplanes down, and then again, not actually bombing cities in each other's countries, which is what would likely lead to the launching of nuclear warheads. But again, while that is very, very good news, again, anytime two nuclear-armed countries go to war with each other, then that always, ups that likelihood. Even if it's a small amount, it still ups that likelihood that conflict could actually end up going nuclear. Now, here is the bad news for when the United States and China go to war in 2027 or 2028. And the bad news is that even if China does not drop a bomb on your city, you will still likely feel pretty severe effects. Number one, China will likely do major cyber attacks on U.S. soil to try to shut down our grid and shut down things like that. So that means that you won't be able to go to the gas station and pump gas because the grid will be down, and so the gas pumps won't be working, the electricity won't be working, stuff like that. And then if you can't get gas, then the trucks that deliver food to your grocery store can't get gas either, nor will the cash registers work at the grocery store and stuff like that, nor can you run to the ATM and get money out, and the banks will shut down. So that's not good. Number two, China will probably do economic warfare, which means that they would manipulate the markets. And one of the ways that they would manipulate the markets is by threatening ships that deliver goods to the United States. And then if you suddenly have goods suddenly stops getting shipped to the United States, then the whole supply and demand stuff kicks in. So then the cost of food and other items might shoot through the roof. So again, that's not good. Not being able to buy food, or what food you can buy, is sky high. Neither one of those are good, which is again why I'm putting my prepping into overdrive. So again, I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think China is going to do this attack on Taiwan in 2027 or 2028? And then if China does attack Taiwan, do you think that the United States would actually go to war with China over that? And then if we do go to war with China over that, do you think that all the action and battles and stuff like that would stay put in that area? Or do you think that the fighting would actually extend to where we'd start bombing each other's cities, and then it would escalate up into nuclear war? Again, comment down below with your thoughts on this whole video. And I've heard that most of our medication is made in China, or at least the parts are made in China and then shipped over here to be finished being made. And if that war does occur, there's probably a high likelihood that you're not going to be able to run down to your pharmacy to get your high blood pressure meds or your diabetes medicine or whatever it is that you are on. And so to see a whole playlist of videos that shows you how to make these different medicines, then click on the video that should be appearing on the screen just about now to learn what most other preppers don't know. Anyways, folks, this is enough internet for me tonight. I do want to eat my dinner. But folks, if you made it this far, hey, thank you very much, and I pray that you have a good night.